It's time now for the Iowa Girls State Basketball Tournament on the Central Iowa Sports Network. From the smallest towns to the biggest cities, watch the Iowa girl compete for the title of state champion. CISN.TV's coverage of the state tournament is presented by Mid-American Energy, Schottenkirk Chevy of Waukee, Atlantic Coca-Cola Bottlers. Also brought to you by the Iowa Pork Producers, Shields, Fairway Foods, Una Vista University, the Better Business Bureau. Now let's go courtside at Wells Fargo Arena in downtown Des Moines for state tournament basketball.
Hello, everybody, and welcome inside Wells Fargo Arena. It is the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union State Basketball Tournament. It's now time for Class 1A as we begin the final 4 games of this third day of the tournament on Wednesday. And I'm Paul Yeager, and this is Laura Leonard, the star of the show, because, Laura, you've seen a lot of great basketball, and you're hoping the streak continues in this one.
Boy, we've seen a lot of good games so far early in the tournament, and we've seen some buzzer beaters and some really exciting games. And, you know, I think when you get to the 1A level, you always see really competitive basketball, and they always seem to be very close games.
And it's a team. You don't usually have that standout player that major college coaches. You do on occasion, but a lot of time it is all about a team. And for the two-time defending champion Springville Orioles, Laura, this is a team that is absolutely familiar with every nook and cranny of this building.
They are. I mean, they just set their clocks by it because they know that they're Wells Fargo bound. Usually when it gets to tournament time, the fans know it, the town knows it. They just plan on getting down here. They were the runner-up 3 years ago. Last 2 years, they have won it. So they are back, and they're trying to do a three-peat, and I think they've got the team to do it, but I think they've got a tough opponent today.
And that is Algona Bishop Garrigan, and the Golden Bears get into the tournament, Laura, by a little dramatic buzzer beater of their own. It was a shot at the buzzer of regulation that forced overtime against Kingsley Pearson that brought the Golden Bears to the floor here at Wells Fargo.
You know, and sometimes when you have something like that happens in the regional final, it carries you over and it carries into the state tournament. You're coming in on a high, there's a lot of excitement, and if you can kind of rein that in and use it to your advantage, I think it helps you.
See North Union for a reference in Class 2A. They get in on a buzzer beater, and then they hit a free throw with a few seconds left. Hold on in the last 2A game that we just saw moments ago. So, Laura, let's hope this floor's got a few more good games. Algona Bishop Garrigan comes in with a record of 17-7. So if you just look at numbers, you're going, why are they even here? But then you dig deep into some of those numbers. 6 of those are against the same team twice, which are 2A teams of Forest City, West Hancock of Britt, and, oh, by the way, North Union.
Yeah, it's a tough schedule.
They had it, and all those are 2A teams that they had lost to, and then they lost to a team out of state. So playing that level of competition, we see almost every year it holds out. It usually translates to 1 or 2 wins here in the state tournament.
Well, when you prepare yourself, you're playing a level up and you're playing really tough competition. It does prepare you for when you do get into tournament play, and then if you are lucky enough to make it to Wells Fargo, then it kind of gives you that momentum and that confidence knowing that you were able to get through that season. And yeah, you lost a few along the way, but I think you learned a lot of valuable experiences from those losses to carry it into the first round of the state tournament.
Golden Bears led by a senior averaging 20 points a contest. That's Jenna Bolter. She is this heart and soul of this squad.
Yeah, she is, and she's the one that hit that three-point shot to send it into overtime against Kingsley Pearson, and so she is the player that they kind of look to for a little guidance, a little momentum, and she can fill it up.
Riley Menster and Michaela Nahazel, names that are just easy to pronounce because you've had so much practice with them. But it's, Alyssa Yeager hit the free throws 2 years ago to ice that one away. Wagaman, Menster, Nahazel, those 4 are an incredible core group of gals.
They are, and when you have a group of players that have come up together they know each other so well that they know where they're going to be on the floor, where they're cutting. They just know what each other's thinking, and that is really tough to defend when you're their opponent.
I saw Springville come in earlier this morning to the tournament for the first time, and I gave a couple of them a hard time. The security guard, I said, you don't need these girls. The only way you're allowed in is if you show your old trophies. And I said, where are they? You don't bring them with you? And Michaela just rolled her eyes at me like she does with most of my questions. So she was expecting something smart out of my mouth. And they just feel comfortable. They're not caught up in the lights. A lot of times a 1A team down here, this is a whole different experience.
Well, it's a big arena, it's a bigger floor, it's loud, and if you're not used to playing in that kind of a situation, at least for the first quarter, it could be a little unnerving.
The Golden Bears were down here earlier this year to play a game at Wells Fargo Arena. They left themselves a note in one of the locker rooms. They pulled that note out earlier this morning, and now we'll see if that motivates them to a championship or at least a state tournament performance. Let's meet the fans of the game, the non-starters and the starters, and then we'll have the tip. You're watching state basketball here on CISN.TV.
Quarterfinal matchup featuring the number 8 seed Algona Garrigan Golden Bears and the number 1 seed Springville Orioles. Fans, at this time, the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union and the Iowa Farm Bureau would like to recognize the outstanding sportsmanship shown by Algona Garrigan High School and Springville High School. In recognition of the importance of good sportsmanship, each state qualifying school was asked to nominate a spectator who represents their school and community in a sportsmanlike manner. Karen Brown of the IGHSAU will present each nominee with a certificate of recognition and a $250 check payable to their school's scholarship fund. Please join us in honoring these individuals whose decorum and respect for others serves as a model for all spectators attending interscholastic events. From Algona Garrigan High School, Dawn Bryant. And from Springville High School, Lyle Anderson. Fans, it's now time to introduce the players of today's Class 1A quarterfinal matchup. First, the non-starters and assistant coaches for the number 8 seed, Algona Garrigan Golden Bears. Number 2, Emma Lecter. Number 3, Alyssa Altman. Number 10, Madison Meister. Number 20, Emma Fogarty. Number 22, Gracie Elsbecker. Number 24, Mackenzie Meister. Number 32, Livia Miller. Number 40, Emery Miller. Number 44, Megan Wadley. And number 50, Caitlin Tilges. Assistant coaches are Nick Albert and Joe Bartolo. Now the non-starters for the Orioles. Number 14, Riley Chapman. Number 15, Melissa Newley. Number 21, Megan Pearson. Number 22, Callie Spicer. Number 22, Courtney Boland. Number 25, Sammy Johnson. Number 35, Kelly Kirchman. Assistant coaches, Tyler Cusack, Jeff Minster, and Bo Zaruba. Now let's have the starting lineups for both teams. For the Golden Bears, a 5'8" sophomore, number 4, Katie Noonan. For the Orioles, a 5'6" junior, number 12, Nicole Kay. For the Golden Bears, a 5'7" senior, number 12, Whitney Homey. For the Orioles, a 5'6" senior, number 20, Riley Minster. For the Golden Bears, a 5'9" freshman, number 14, Kaylin Myers. For the Orioles, a 5'10" senior, number 23, Maddie Ragaman. For the Golden Bears, a 5'6" senior, number 23, Jenna Bolter. For the Orioles, a 5'11" senior, number 31, Alyssa Yeager. For the Golden Bears, a 5'9" senior, number 30, Grace McGuire. And for the Orioles, a 5'11" senior, number 51, Michaela Nahazel. Head coach for the Golden Bears is Brandon Schwab. Head coach for the Orioles is Christina Zaruba. The officials for today's game are Chad Schellmeyer, Travis Carroll, Joseph Rasmussen, and Gary Ewald. Now let's play basketball!
Can't get much more of an introduction than that as we are ready to play Springville and Algona, Bishop, Garrigan, Kane, Menster, Wagaman, Yeager, and Nahazel for Springville, which will be in their white uniforms. In the black, Noonan, Hovey, Myers, Bolter, and McGuire for Algona, Bishop, Garrigan. And we'll tip it off here, just a little bit different look. Not Nahazel at the tip, it'll be Menster instead.
I don't recall them doing that the last couple of years. I could be wrong.
I don't either, but, you know, they are all quickly up ahead on the fast break travel. Our officiating crew, Chad Schellmeyer, Travis Carroll, and Josh Rasmussen. That was Travis Carroll who made that call.
Obviously, there's a reason for it because they have a set play off the jump ball.
Springville at the state volleyball tournament as well this year, so you know the girls can jump out of the gym as on another sport.
Which is impressive in itself. Volleyball players, I can't believe how much vertical they have. It's very impressive.
Hovey gets it to Myers, now swung across to McGuire. Kicks it right side, that's Bolter. She'll come up over the top, have it swatted away by Kane, and then there's a whistle, and that's going to be on the Golden Bears.
Oh, Springville coming out in a zone, and Algona Garrigan.
It is on Bolter, Laura.
Oh, that's
significant early.
Early on. You don't want to pick up fouls 30 seconds into the ball game. So, going to be interesting to see how they attack that zone, though, of Springville.
Into the left corner for three. Shot is short by Kane. It goes off of Garrigan. It'll stay Springville basketball. They'll inbound it with Maddie Wagaman. Kane, inside Nahazel. She drives, Michaela, shot is short, rebound, Golden Bears. Bolter.
You know, two teams, both of them playing 2-3 zone. So, obviously they've practiced it. They should both know how to attack it.
And Springville has gone to that zone. They have the last couple of years. Three-pointers off the mark by McGuire. Rebound, Nahazel, cleared by Menster. Inside, back, trying to go back cut with Wagaman. It wasn't there.
Just both being patient and just a little ragged to start.
Three-pointer, no good. Loose ball, corralled. Again by the Orioles, that's Menster. Yeager with it for a moment, now Nahazel. She carried the basketball. And already there's a lineup change. Christina Zaruba will send in Johnson. That's Sammy Johnson.
Give them a little more height on that back line of that 2-3 zone. And on the offensive side, a couple of difficult matchups when you put in some more height.
Noonan, cross quarter to McGuire, makes a move, gets in, rebound, and that's the new entrant into the game, Johnson, pulls it down. No score here in the first 2.5 minutes. Inside cut and a foul. Wagaman will get a chance to shoot two. Myers whistled for the foul.
Really good movement on offense, and just a diagonal cut down to the low block. And they passed the ball very well. It was precision. They hit Wagaman on a timing route, and then she went strong and drew the contact.
First point of the game. It's the free throw from Maddie Wagaman. Misses the second one. Rebound, Katie Noonan. Jenna Bolter. The offensive force of this offense.
You can see that Melissa Newley, who just came into the ball game, staying very close, and then a quick steal and quick hands by Minster.
Loose ball, other way, saved. Still everywhere. From one corner to another. We're still playing. Transition J, no good. Rebound, Sammy Johnson.
Boy, that was just pure hustle all the way around. That's everybody laying it on the line, knowing that they're at the state tournament. Every loose ball counts.
Wagaman kicks it right side, three-pointer, good! Riley Minster.
Little inside-out basketball. They got the ball into the lane. Defense collapses down, and a nice kick out, catch and shoot.
Myers driving. Out of Hovey, three-point shot off the mark, chased down. Johnson, that's I think 3 rebounds for her, and that's a non-starter. Just too tall of a pass there for Newley.
And they are certainly trying to get out and run at any opportunity, getting out and filling the lanes off of the miss.
You can hear Brandon Schwab, head coach of Bishop Garrigan, calling 4 out. Found out earlier today, Schwab coached in the Vinton area and was even an assistant at Jessup. Without Jackie Sapir, it's just not the same, Laura. So pretend you're Jackie, and we can talk Jessup stuff.
Oh, so do I just nod and agree with you?
Agree, like you have to do a lot of times.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Rebound by Springville, and the Orioles will push it up here, up 4. Johnson in the corner. Newley. Oh, nice move by Yeager. Pronounced Yeager, not spelled Yeager. Here's a look at Coach Zaruba. She got the job this year, taking over for Nate Sanderson, who's now at Linn-Mar. Also, really, you couldn't move school districts that were too much closer than Springville and Linn-Mar, as they're both there in Linn County. As the first free throw by Yeager is good.
Well, she stepped into a very nice situation, Coach Zaruba did, and got the team back to the state tournament and hoping to get the three-peat.
Garrigan moving it around. And she's running Zaruba's running a quick rotation. She's already gotten a Hazel back in the game after a quick breather. Three-pointer off the mark, and Nicole Kane, who's back into the ball game after sitting out for a moment. Nahazel drop step to the hole. No good. Rebound Johnson. No! Tipped to Springville. Oh, and Nahazel, she knew it the moment.
Yep.
Travel.
But active hands, too, the loose ball and tipping it back out. But, you know, going back to Coach Zaruba's rotation pattern, I think they want to run. And they want to get up and down the floor, and you want to get some quick legs. But I also think she's substituting in to just get some of the jitters out. You got to get those few runs up and down the floor. Maybe sit for a minute or two on the bench, then come back and you've calmed down and you can get back into your game.
Approaching 2 as this 2-3 is really frustrating Garrigan. Nice shot from the right side, at least good look, and straight up rebound back by Meister. And the whistle, it'll stay Bishop Garrigan.
Second in lineup for the Orioles, number 23, Maddie Wagaman.
I think Bishop Garrigan just rushing some shots, overshooting the basket, seeing that there's a little bit of height on the inside. When they shoot it, they're just rushing some things and a little intimidation, but a great move there.
Kaylin Myers with the bucket and the first 2 points of the game for Garrigan.
And sometimes all it takes is just that one shot to go down, relax everybody. Boy, nice cut on the inside by Alyssa Yeager. Great hands to catch that pass.
7-2. Meister with it, tipped away by Johnson. I'll tell you what, Johnson's made a huge impact in this game off the bench. Nahazel catches in transition. Missed the good look, and now she'll have to come back down and play defense again.
Well, they've got their defense turning into their offense. They didn't convert that time, but as soon as they got the steal, they knew exactly what they were to do and the positions they needed to be in on the floor.
Eventually those shots will fall. We're going to have a timeout. Bishop Garrigan, 7-2 early on here at Wells Fargo.
This is Iowa. And here, we don't just dream of a better tomorrow, of a smarter way to do business or live, of perseverance and progress. We inspire it in others. We challenge the conventional, reimagine what it means to be better, and then dare ourselves to make it great. This is Iowa, and here, we don't just dream, we make history. This
101 to play here in the first quarter. It's been all Springville, except for a bucket by Garrigan, but Springville not exactly running away with it. It's only 7-2. Garrigan can be held away from scoring, so not score here in the last minute. That'd be the lowest output of a quarter we've seen this tournament. Johnson rips it away.
And now Bishop Garrigan, 1 of 11 from the floor, but Springville not much better, 2 of 7.
Nahazel puts the move to the left and goes to the right. That'll help her percentage.
That's a good job catching the ball at the mid-high and then working her way through the defense, finding the angle and the opening.
Meister for a moment. Driving and fouled is Garrigan's Caitlin Tilgis.
Fouls on the Orioles, number 51, Michaela Nahazel.
Nahazel picks up a foul. I want to give credit to Caitlin. She was the one who helped me with the pronunciations of the team before the game. Her squad sitting there in the chairs watching that last game, and sometimes it's the longest half hour, 45 minutes before you're supposed to go in the locker room waiting for your turn.
I'm glad you could help them pass the time.
Tipped away, Springville. What a leap there by Menster. Yeager right side, 10 seconds. Johnson flat-footed J off the mark. Rebound Tilgis, she's elbowed on the rebound, and it'll go back to the other side.
When you have a player like Riley Menster up on top of the 2-3 zone, what she can do with her anticipation or leaping ability, we saw her with the opening tip, so we know she can jump. She's got great hands, quick hands. 103 steals coming into this ballgame.
Basket falls short. Springville will open up the first quarter and go to quarter number 2 with a 7-point lead when we come back on CISN.TV.
Miss your hometown clothing store? The one that had it all? Everything to get the work done, all in one place? G&L Clothing is your hometown Iowa store. Stop in and see us, or we're only a click or phone call away. Family owned for nearly a century. G&L Clothing, 1801 Ingersoll, Des Moines.
G&L Clothing, your size, your style, we've got it all.
Spring has arrived at the all-new Fireplace Superstore. Drop in and check out all the new 2017 patio furniture. At Fireplace Superstore, you will find Central Iowa's most complete outdoor furniture selection for your deck and patio, including gas and charcoal grills, fire pits, and wicker furniture. Get in on the early spring savings going on now. Fireplace Superstore has been creating your outdoor style for over 35 years. Fireplace Superstore just west of Homeacres on Douglas in Urbandale.
Bishop Garrigan goes 1 of 12 from the floor, Laura, in the first quarter. 8.3%. 2 points, the lowest offensive output of the tournament in a quarter. And now they have to come back out and say, wipe that from the memory bank.
Yeah, you have to forget about that. That was just a quarter where I think you were just getting into things, and I think you're thinking about where you were, the nerves, what's on the line. Now, they've played here already once this year, so you have to figure, okay, now we know where we are, got everything in command, and you're not that far out of it. You're only down 7, so it's not that big of a deficit.
First shot goes Hovey on the rebound, and then it's taken away by Menster. Riley goes left, leaves it for a trailing Nahazl, but the problem for that is there was a great defensive hustle. Kaylin Myers knocked that one away. Good trailing defense.
Yeah, very good defense, and that's what you have to do. If you have the turnover, then you've got to be able to get back and be able to knock it away. But then Springville, that's a great inbound play. Menster just comes in untouched.
My goodness, she's quick. And she can jump.
Yeah, that's going to be she and Michaela Nahazl are going to go to Minnesota State to play basketball. So that's a nice 1-2 punch that they're getting.
And I think Riley had stepped on the line when she knocked it back in, said the referee who was right in front of it. We will talk about the stripes coming up at halftime. Chuck Britton, who's overseeing the officials for basketball, he will come in and we'll discuss refereeing for a little bit at halftime. And we'll also talk to North Union's head coach in about 7 minutes or more. Shot off the mark for Garrigan, and then a foul on the rebound. That'll be charged to Yeager.
Fouls on the Orioles, number 31, Alyssa Yeager, her first, team third.
Well, they're certainly getting the opportunities, Bishop Garrigan. They just cannot convert shots. They're getting good looks. And everything seems to just be a little bit of an overthrow, a little too much adrenaline going right now for them.
And sometimes the team you're playing, if they push that tempo and force you out of, they're just going to get set and get back into a 2-3. And that changes what you're expecting, your mindset all of a sudden. But that's why you are in these games, because you can make adjustments. 3 ball on the way is good! Jenna Bolter.
And I was just thinking she had not gotten a lot of touches up to that point. They've been doing a good job of really shadowing her, not allowing her to get the basketball, and a little step-back jumper may get her going.
Too tall of a pass for Nahazl. That's saying something. Kane into the corner for Menster. Nicole for 3. And now you're starting to spread the scoring for Springville.
Yeah, and that's they do have very nice balanced scoring throughout their lineup. They've got 3 players that average close to 6 points a game, and then Menster and Nahazl in double digits.
Shot off the mark, and it's back to Springville into the corner. Will we see another Shields 3-point play? We'll find out in a moment. Kane, Menster. You got it. That's a Shields 3-point play. Wagaman now with 4.
Well, what they do when they spread the ball around and they move the ball around, they get the defense out of position. They dumped it into Nahazl, and another kick out. So she's finding her teammates on the floor, getting them open, and they're knocking down the shots.
Menster will move it across midcourt. Johnson back into the ball game. They go to Menster for just a moment. Yeager from 15 is good. Timeout, Garrigan. So the Golden Bears, Laura, you're in that huddle. You're looking up at a 19-5 deficit. Shots are not falling. You're trying to attack. What else can go wrong?
Well, I think you just got to.
Is what they're feeling.
Yeah, and you've just got to settle things down. There's a lot of time left in this ball game, and we've seen a lot of comebacks in the tournament so far this week. Now, right now, they're getting outscored here in this quarter 10-3. And so I think the biggest thing is work the ball on offense, find a high percentage shot, get it inside, see if you can get a layup, see if you can get a little 2-foot shot to try to get things going. But you also have to be able to get Kaylin Myers the basketball and Jenna Bolter the basketball. They have not been able to do that with any consistency.
Shot is blocked on the three-point arc, and then the loose ball goes off of Bishop Garrigan. So they designed to get a three there out of the timeout. And that'll be a travel called on Menster. She was trying to get it into Wagaman there, trying to get around the defender. Watch Bolter. She's number 23. See what they do to get her the basketball right now. Right with it is Myers. They go into McGuire. She turns around in transition. Not there. Rebound. There were 4 white jerseys there.
And everything's being contested. And I think there's just a little bit of tightness with Bishop Garrigan in taking those shots because the defense is right in their face.
And that was another pass to Nahazal that was denied. And it looks like that's part of Garrigan's game plan here, Laura, is to just not let her beat you, but the other ones. The problem is Springville is just loaded top to bottom on whenever they go on the floor.
Yeah, but I like what Galen Myers did there. She attacked and went right at Nahazal, hoping to get the foul, and Nahazal's defense just straight up and down blocked that shot away.
And Yeager goes after the rim, and she's fouled.
Fouls on the Golden Bears, number 14, Kaylin Myers, her second.
And Myers picks up her second. 4th overall here in the half. 3 team fouls for Springville. Yeager now leads the Orioles with 6 points. Second one, good. Lead is 16, driving, kicking, nice move. Oh, I was going to say, are you kidding me if that doesn't go down for Kaylin Myers?
Well, if that one rolls out, that is so defeating, and it just takes all the wind out of your sails. But that one rolled around and just teased them a little bit, but finally fell through. But a great play. They ran a little screen and roll and dribble drive and then got the ball inside.
Right wing. Menster just inside the 3 isn't there. Rebound comes out, Grace McGuire. Bolter. Looked like it was maybe supposed to be a screen.
They are trying to set some screens up top on the top part of that zone.
But that's hard to do against a zone, isn't it?
It is, because then you have the rotation defensively, and that's why you have to move the ball quicker around this zone. You've got to set that screen, look to see what that back line is going to do of this 2-3, and then decide where you're going to get the ball after that player comes up to pick you up.
Inbounded pass to Myers. She steps in and kicks. Going hard to the rack is Altman, and the shot's not there.
But they're being a little more aggressive on offense, and you have to like that because they are trying to attack.
Nahazal goes left with her left hand and scores.
Point. I think she went around about 4 black jerseys, leaning in, drawing a little contact as she went, but able to get through the trees and got to the rim.
Johnson the rebound. Wagaman walks it up. Menster inside. Again, they find Wagaman on the cut. So kind of it's not quite a give and go, but the pass and cut.
No, but they've run that very well. That's one of their main plays that they do have, where they bring it out to the right side and then look for that diagonal cut.
Maddie Wagaman into the corner now for Newley. Cross court. Under 2 to play. Inside the 3. The shot is there for Newley.
Well, right now, Springville hitting over 50% of their shots. They're just kind of hitting on all cylinders, and Bishop Garrigan struggling from the floor right around 12%.
Hovey's shot is lost out of bounds, but it was off of Springville.
In for the Golden Bears at number 10, Madison Meister.
So it looks like the Bears go with a 4-stack lineup there as McGuire looks to get it in. They go up top to Bolter. 3-point shot, good!
3-point basket.
Well, if they can find more ways to get her open, that is going to bode very well for them.
Nahazel tries to answer. Rebound, contested, and that's a foul on Yeager.
Fouls on the Orioles, number 39, Alyssa Yeager, her second, team fifth. Back into the lineup for the Orioles, number 23, Maddie Wagaman.
Wagaman comes back in. So Menster and Kane at the top of that 2-3. They go over the top and then kick right side. Rebound McGuire, still contesting every pass, every shot. Nothing's easy for Bishop Garrigan.
No, and they certainly are shadowing Bolter everywhere she goes. Always one, usually two, trailing in behind to slow her down.
And Menster didn't get it, but she made it happen so Johnson could. Kane. Now Menster for 3. Off the mark, rebound Kane. On the line were the Golden Bears, Whitney Hovey. And the fans from Kossuth County aren't too pleased. Three-pointer from Menster, no good. Rebound, Nahazel uses the glass.
Boy, that is so good. Nahazel comes from the other side of the lane, tips it up to herself, catches and puts it back.
Lead is back to 19. 6 seconds, 5, and a foul right at the end of the half.
Fouls on the Orioles, number 23, Maddie Wagaman, her first, team sixth. Shooting for the Golden Bears, number 10, Madison Meister.
Wagaman whistled for the foul at the line to shoot free throws.
Into the lineup for the
We've
Golden
got
Bears, number 15,
Madison
Caitlin
Meister.
Curtis.
5 seconds left here before halftime. You know how quickly Springville can get the ball down the floor. So look to see what happens if they have a set play. They're already sneaking Nahazel down here by herself. So
And
look, I don't think there they go. They finally figured it out.
Quickly up ahead, Menster, 2 seconds, 1. Got to let it go soon. Won't count even if it would have went. And we've played a half. It's Springville 29, Garrigan 10. When we come back, we'll break down the officiating, and we'll also look back at the North Union game. This is coverage of the Girls State Tournament from Des Moines on Wells Fargo Arena on CISN.TV.
And here, we don't just dream, we make history by nearly doubling our clean energy as part of our 100% renewable vision. With this, our energy costs will remain some of the lowest in the nation. We'll create new jobs and boost economic growth. Our air will be cleaner, our state stronger, and together we'll advance this country's energy future forever. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service. This is Iowa.
Doesn't happen overnight. It takes a vision for the future, the ability to turn a challenge into a success, and individuals who inspire new generations of growth. Greater Des Moines has done a lot of growing over the years, and so have we. At Brick Gentry Law, your success is something that we create together. Thank you for making us a part of your community. Thank you for 50 years.
Back here at halftime with Merrill Tigas. You might remember him from the last game that just happened here from North Union. What a week for you, huh?
Yeah.
Have you processed any of it yet?
Well, not yet. I mean, we come off a huge win a week ago against Western Christian. And then obviously today's game, what a tight game. I mean, Panorama, one loss all year against Springville. And, just to pull the victory out, it's amazing.
So, and it's been different heroes for you each time.
Yes, I mean, everybody's been stepping up. I mean, I thought, defensively, we tried to find great shooters today. We did a good job of locating. They have some great shooters, Panorama. They're very tough to defend, and obviously we had some good, we did a good job today with different scores for us today,
Yeah, that's what I was just going to bring in. So you have 14 from Chloe Lofstrom, and she's the one, though, that will go down in the books as the one who hit the winning shot.
Yeah, that's right. I said, after you make both of them, get back and don't give them a three. So she made one,
and it was the second one.
And the second one, she had to wait for that, and then we luckily didn't. They didn't make that three at the end. Luckily, we wanted to throw it a little deeper than that, over half court. Out of bounds girl, a little soft armed it a little bit.
We were guessing that maybe some of the girls thought that it was the bonus and that you were going to have to go shoot free throws and thought, oh, it's over. But you were under at that moment.
Yes.
So how do you, there's so much going on.
Yep.
But how do you just keep it on message? Something simple, one or two things for them to talk about.
Well, exactly. We want to keep it simple. Like I said, Kate Anderson took it out for us, and I thought she was going to get it over half court at least, and didn't get it over half court. But luckily, a great shooter missed a good look at the basket, and we got the rebound, and the rest is history.
Well, speaking of history, Hallie Reese, that shot, how was that play drawn up against Western to get to state?
Well, that was a great game. Got tight the fourth quarter where we were back and forth the fourth quarter, and we had 13 seconds left or 13-6 left, and we tried to run an isolation to Sam, who we're going to have her shooter attack, and they did such a great job of denying us the ball that Reese came to the ball, and Bree gave it to her, and she went around off to the right side and threw it up, and down she went.
Have you ever been a part of a game with a shot like that to win it?
No, not that kind of shot.
Do you want to be a part of something like that again?
Well, as long as we're on the right end of it, correct. That's correct.
All right, tell us a little bit about you. What do you do are you in the North Union District?
I'm actually a chiropractor in Bancroft, Iowa, which is part of the North Union School District. I've been a chiropractor just for 20 years now, and I've been coaching high school girls basketball. This is my 19th season coaching girls basketball as a boys coach many years ago for a year, and for the last 20 years I've been coaching high school girls basketball.
And where are you from originally?
Originally from Fenton, Iowa, which is
also in the district.
Also in the district, correct.
So did you play for Central?
I did play for Central, yes.
With an S.
With an S.
I learned that a long time ago.
Yes.
All right. So So that's kind of hard to come into the district and get to know the girls, but it obviously is working right now. This year.
It is. We were NSK for 4 years, and then Armstrong came together, and now we're North Union for the last 6 years. It's been great. We have great kids. Those girls, they work hard, do the best they can, have great attitude, have a lot of fun, and we're just having a blast down here.
All right, Coach, thank you so much. It's Merle Tigas, head coach at North Union, and they live to play another day. And when we come back, we're going to talk refereeing with Chuck Britton, and I know you have good things to say always about the officials.
They did a great job today.
Back after this.
Thanks for the coverage.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
It has become something of a lost art. Remembering someone's face. Remembering a name. They're the building blocks of a strong, caring community. Can you think of anything else more important than that? We can't.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury. Whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
Back at halftime, Chuck Britton, supervisor of officials for the Union. Is that the title? Supervisor? Coordinator? Coordinator. What's the difference between coordinator and supervisor? What does coordinator of officials mean, Chuck?
I think it's just verbiage. That's it. We got great officials, and I'm just supposed to put them together.
So this year, this is your first year in doing what you're doing for the Union, and I work with a guy who does do officiating, and he said we were getting reviewed. And what was that process about?
We did. I hired 5 supervisors around the state in different corners of the state. They all hired 4 or 5 observers, and we watched 1,217 different officials work basketball this season, and they got written evaluations on each and every one of those.
What are you talking about with an official? I mean, you can't just say that was traveling, that wasn't. You're looking at other things.
Most of the time we're looking at mechanics, how well they communicate. That's really the key. You know, we've got verbal communication and nonverbal communication. Our signals tell people what's going on, and sometimes we need to verbally communicate as well. But that communication is the key to having a well-officiated game.
And I think when you and I were discussing this earlier this week, you were talking about some officials hadn't had a review in a long time and didn't realize, it's one thing to sit in a clinic, and if you've done it for 20 years, you think, I know what I'm doing, I still get to do this. But there's other things that you have learned over time about seeing things.
Yeah, that's for sure. And, experience plays a big role. But mostly, the feedback that officials typically get is either from a coach who is extremely pleased with the job that they do or extremely upset with the job that they do. And then, of course, we've got our fans and followers of the teams who have their biased and sometimes unbiased opinions. But really anybody that understands officiating and really works at officiating, it really is helpful for them to give them strong and honest feedback.
And you need more of those people to give feedback too.
We do. Yes, we do. We had 1,700 registered officials in the state of Iowa, and really we need about 2,700.
Oh wow, that many.
But we've got an awful lot of really good officials. I was so amazed at the quality of the officiating as we went around the state. I went to Wayne of Corydon, I went to Iowa Valley Marengo, I went to Sigourney, Keota, Sioux City, Omaha, and watched games during the season. I live in Waverly and just traveled the state just to watch people referee, and I'm amazed at the quality that we have, but we never have enough, and we're trying to increase that number, and we really would love to see the young female and those former athletes decide to officiate. We've got one gal here today and another one tomorrow, so I'm excited about that.
I know I've talked with Kathy Creighton, who is doing your job, but for softball, and her and I discussed a couple of years ago on Iowa Public Television during the game about the need for officials, and she made the pitch, if you have played the game and you don't want to necessarily coach, get into officiating because you know the game and you're familiar with it, and you've obviously got some love for it.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, when you're done playing and you pay that membership fee to go to the club, if you decide to officiate, you can get that exercise and get paid for it. And, you get yelled at a little bit. But, they're really not yelling at us. They're yelling at Striped Shirt. And everybody's passionate about the game. And there's no reason to take it personally, and people really don't mean anything bad by it.
And it's never you, it's the other one. What's your favorite line? Hey, that guy is making the rest of you look bad.
Yes, that's right. It's never yourself.
And when you're in Waverly, that means Rick Willis to me for Wartburg football, and I know that was one of his classic lines.
Yes.
Hey, it's not you. It's the other guy who's making you. I mean, you've heard that. It's also about. I talked with Bert Hansen last year, coach in Indianola, and I asked him about. I said, I always heard that you got all these technicals years ago, and he says, yeah. He said the best thing for him was the seatbelt rule being pulled away. He says, I could stand up and it wasn't seen as a threat to an official, and I could work off some steam.
Yes, I totally agree. I probably gave quite a few of those to Bert, as a matter of fact. But what a great guy he is, and I do believe that the coaches being able to get up and move around, let them blow off a little steam. They work with the kids 7 days a week, the entire year, and they're passionate about the kids that they've coached, and totally get that. And that's one of the reasons why we work with officials on communication and working with the coaches. And I made the comment in the locker room after this last game and the game before that we ended those basketball games with the coaches coaching, the players playing, and the referees refereeing. And, that's successful.
Yeah, and they weren't taking things over. Real quickly here in the last few seconds, we see 3 on the floor, but there's a 4th one that's a part of the crew this year.
Yes, I brought in a bench official for a lot of reasons, but number one is so that if somebody goes down in the game, we got somebody who can step in and finish it. Also, it's great training ground. These guys are all sitting in the pre-games and working with these experienced crews, and most of the officials that are working the bench are first-timers and maybe never been in a state tournament before, and gives them a little bit of a taste.
All right, Chuck Britton, thank you so much. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
All right, we're back with the second half in 30 seconds. Hi there, everybody. We're back for half number 2. Laura Leonard. Any quick thoughts?
Well, I think if you're Bishop Garrigan, you've got to strike quick. You've got to get some momentum on your side. And if you're Springville, keep doing what you're doing. Everything you did in the first half was to perfection and helped you build a big lead.
Rebound, Springville out, winning that one 23-14. The score 29-10. As we've played one half, and we're just getting going with half number 2. The Orioles come back out with their starting 5. That's Nahazel, and it looks like maybe that's a little different game plan. They're going to start driving her and forcing her to get the basketball and get a good look at the basket.
Well, she took the most shots of everybody. I didn't think she had that many touches, but she did get 7 opportunities in the first half, 3 of 7 from the floor, and she is their go-to player, and so you want to try to get her going early on here in the third quarter.
And she hits the second free throw to give her now 7 points. 30-10. My thanks to Chuck Britton as we talked officials. And we were able to talk North Union basketball as well. It's always fun to get a chance to talk to these coaches here, Laura, and you get a chance to do the same in the post-game media room as you get ready to call as the shot is blocked and Nahazel grabs a hold of it, and Menster will push the tempo. Kane, lightning bolt pass to Nahazel, turnaround. She's got the touch.
Boy, that was a tough catch, but she was able to get it and get her feet set and knock it down with the soft touch.
Some of these coaches have been here before with other teams, or they brought teams to say, you girls could play here. It's a whole different atmosphere when you have to step in between the benches and get your team ready to play. As the nice transition, Nicole Kane.
I'm going to tell you what, that all started back after the rebound. Nahazel ran that down, and she hollered at Menster that the pass was coming to her. And then it was just great passing back and forth till they got the bucket.
I get the sense Springville's trying to send a message to the rest of the field with his performance.
Why not? I mean, you've got the opportunity, you've got the platform right now. You're the defending state champs, and you want to stake your claim. You want to just kind of throw down the gauntlet and say, come after us. And here's what we have. We're going to show you everything that we have.
Well, one of the things you have is Maddie Wagaman, who scores again.
No, they're finding Wagaman down low, and the defense just is not keeping up right now. There's no communication, and they're just having a tough time keeping up with the movement of Springville.
Noonan gets around Michaela Nahazel, but Nahazel prevented her from shooting because she fouled her. After talking with Chuck, I'm not sure if I got that terminology right. I was going to ask him one more question. You're not able to hear the interview, and I wanted to say, Chuck talked about it from the officials trying to communicate, and I talked with an official that I know, and he says, you know what I would like is I would like a speaker or the opportunity to say, when someone says traveling or over the back. Well, one, you can't have traveling as the free throw is made by Noonan. You can't have traveling if you don't have possession. And there is no such call as over the back. It's displacement, and he goes, if I could just relay that to the fans. Nahazel, the left, won't go. Rebound, Noonan corrals it.
I believe there was a commercial, wasn't there, running earlier this year during football season that kind of did a little parody on that, where officials came out and had the loudspeaker and were able to say something about the certain calls, and then it went on to talk about something else. But you know what? Sometimes, fans see things, and I will say, I feel as a fan, when you're sitting up at about row, I'm going to say 6, 7, 8, somewhere in there, you have a really good view of the floor. It sometimes is hard to see when you're on the floor, but that's where the officials have to be, obviously. Sometimes your angles aren't great. You get blocked. There's a lot of people, arms and legs out there that sometimes you don't see everything. And when you're sitting up a little bit higher at mid-court, you do get to see a lot of things, and you question what the officials call, but these guys do such a great job of handling the games and letting the games ebb and flow and making crucial calls.
McGuire gets the bucket for Bishop Garrigan, and it's about Nahazel there. She turns around for 2. It's about rotation, just like it is for a defense or an offense. The officials are trying to triangulate and the lead, the back, the trail. They have positions and names because they're trying to get the best game. They're trying. You don't always believe it that announcers have no dog in the fight. We don't care who wins as long as it's a good game, and all the officials care about, they don't care who wins. They just want to make sure they get the calls right.
Right, and I think it's funny being in our situation, and we probably listen to broadcasts a little bit closer than some people do when you're watching another game and you're watching your favorite team and you go, oh, those announcers are so against whomever it might be. And they really aren't, but it's just all your perspective and your perception of just because you're a fan, and that all plays into it.
Free throw on the way is short. Maddie Wagaman. Oh, I'm sorry, that's Riley Menster. Wagaman had the bucket before in our last conversation. Menster, 17 points a game, 68.9% from the free throw line. Today, she has now 4 points in the scorebook.
But doing a lot of other things, though, for her team. Defensively, she just kind of roves around up there at the top of that 2-3 zone, uses her quickness to create all kinds of problems up top, not allowing a team to get set in their offense, but finally Bishop Garrigan finds a way to get through the defense.
Hovey, nice move underneath. And now Springville, a little too tall of passes. That's kind of what Garrigan was going through there for a while. Remember in that first half, just things weren't crisp, and that's a testament of the defense.
Yeah, you sometimes anticipate the defense's hands are going to get on things, and so you might throw a pass a little bit higher, a little bit harder, and then you don't catch your teammate in stride.
And if you wait for the team to set the defense, of course you're not going to get a good look. Nice 3 shot on the way. Oh, in and out for Hovey, and the Orioles clear it.
That was one of the best offensive sets that Bishop Garrigan has had all afternoon.
Wagaman to Nahazel. Johnson swings it for Newley. Wagaman looks for a trailing. Nahazel fakes right, goes left. We've seen Michaela's game, change over time. She's worked on, it looks like she has worked on certain things of her game. She's real strong going left. But she looks like she feels more comfortable farther than 4 feet from the basket now.
I think that she has brought her game out further and further away from the basket, and that's what makes her so tough to guard, because she can work around free throw line extended, go high-low. She can pass it, so she's seeing the floor very well and set up teammates down low in the block. And so, again, I think just as you age and you get more experience underneath your belt, that you learn the game better and you know what you need to do to improve yourself.
Driving is Tilgis. And then the second try by Myers. It's knocked out of bounds. It'll go back to Springville.
Bishop Garrigan throwing on a little full court pressure, but Springville having no problem breaking it.
Tilgis gets the rebound, and then she is going to be fouled by Menster.
You know, Springville broke that pressure, got the ball up in the court in a hurry, but didn't convert. So that's a win for Bishop Garrigan in the fact that, hey, they changed some things up defensively, gave a new look, and they were able to get a stop.
Garrigan shooting 17% from the field, trying to get something going. Nice move. Not the highest of percentage shots there. Loose ball goes underneath. Tilgis for 2.
And that's a situation where the referees let them play through that and didn't blow a quick whistle.
Shot on the way, somehow curls around the iron and scores for Nicole Kane.
They seem to be getting a lot of shots right there in that short corner area.
Oh, nice move to the back, then blocked by Nahazel. Johnson has it, gets it away. They got a streaking Kane, but Yeager just not quite able to get rid of it as Myers was harassing her. Shot on the way, good.
That's exactly what you were talking about right there. Steps up away, gets the ball right at the mid-high, and that was just very fluid. Caught the ball, turned, and shot it.
Bolter. Tilgis takes another shot, and Tilgis has scored the last 4 for Garrigan.
Left her alone at the free throw line, and she was able to convert.
One thing about the Class 1A action, Laura, that maybe is different than, say, a 4A or 5A is usually a team can get to state with one really good player, and you got to have that supporting cast. And right now, Garrigan, they can't get even their star player in action, and that's just a testament to the defense here.
Bolter's she's taken 5 shots here in this ball game, and she averages 20 points a game, so she's got to get a few more shots than that if you want to get back in the ball game and get her average. That's what you've done all season long, and you need to try to find ways to get her open.
On the three-point shot, Newley is going to be whistled for the foul. And if you're Coach Zaruba, are you saying we're 36 seconds left in the third quarter and we've only allowed their player that is second best in Class 1A here at the tournament and scoring to only 5 shots? I think you'd consider that a victory.
That's a huge victory because you look at their lineup from top to bottom. You've got 2 scores. You got Kaylin Myers that averages 11.5. You got Jenna Bolter at 20. Those are your number 1 and number 2 scores that you run the offense through. Both of those players have been held under their average so far. Now, Myers has been able to get off 11 shots, but Bolter, again, only 5 shots.
Final 15. Hovey. Now McGuire. Leaves it for Noonan. Three-pointer shot. Good! Grace McGuire, 1 second. Shot won't count. I think now I see what's going on here. Hold on, hold the phone, folks. Are we looking at a contact before the whistle? Or are we looking at, I think what happened.
Springville 45, Bishop Garrigan 24.
We're talking to both benches.
So on the drive, let's take it, I can see it on the replay. Menster drove, she did not get the shot off before the buzzer. I think that's the end of the quarter. We'll take a quick break and be back with the fourth quarter. No, they are, keep it here, Peter.
There's an offensive foul on the Orioles number 20, Riley Minster.
There was an offensive foul. Okay, see, the camera angle I saw, I was looking left. It was called from behind, so they're going to put .3 to end the quarter. Garrigan really can't get a shot off. They can only tip it, and that'll do it. All right, we'll go to the fourth quarter now after this.
Springville 45, Bishop. Store, the one that had it all, everything to get the work done, all in one place. G&L Clothing is your hometown Iowa store. Stop in and see us, or we're only a click or phone call away. Family owned for nearly a century. G&L Clothing, 1801 Ingersoll, Des Moines.
G&L Clothing, your size, your style, we've got it all.
I don't know, just the opportunities I've had, the people I've met, I couldn't have imagined a better college experience. The professor gets to know you really quickly. I know that people know who I am and that they care about me. With the opportunities I have here, I'm going to be able to succeed. Now I just feel like I can do anything.
We're having fun, aren't we, Laura? 45-24. Wow, I hadn't even written in the score of the halftime. It just
that one is not working.
Okay, just that one. Okay. There you go. So I noticed it at the end of the half on the north basket. The red light had, some gyms have them. We have them here at the arena. Hadn't gone off, and that's what caught my attention. You could see the red. Clearly, Minster hadn't got off, but there was a foul beforehand. So if there gets to be a contested shot at this end, we'll see how that goes. I know they'll try to fix that, and that'll be changed. It won't be a problem later on today or tomorrow for sure.
Well, now, that's a shout out to you because you noticed it. The officials had not seen it, but obviously, they're watching the game and they don't see those things. When you get close and in a close situation where could be a last-second shot, the officials rely on that red circle or red line that goes around the rim and the backboard, and so they knew it over on the bench, on the scorer's bench, but nice job for pointing that out.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
There are some high school gyms that have them, and then there are some that don't. And you start to, after a while, it is extremely helpful when you're not 100% sure. Did the horn sound at the time? It's a visual thing. As Nahazl drives, a little too strong, gets her own roar, which is a little weak. Yeager somehow fights, and on the third attempt, Garrigan will be whistled for a foul.
Just a lot of height in there for Springville. That's hard to combat for Bishop Garrigan.
Yeager hits the free throws, or has the attempt at the free throw, misses the first one. She has 7, now 8. And I think it was against Newell Fonda when she hit that free throw, wasn't it? In that title game 2 years ago to win it. That was one of the greatest. That was one of the greatest games we've had here in years.
Yes, I
think
it was.
Newell Fonda will play in a little bit, this afternoon.
And they're on the other side of the bracket, so we could have another one of those rematches.
Newell Fonda is undefeated, 24-0. Three-pointer on the way, off the mark by Noonan. Rebound, Springville. Coming up next, AGWSR and IGHSAU EHK. That's Elkhorn Kimballton. As Garrigan gets the steal and then the foul on Menster. Then it's Key of Lansing against Newell Fonda. That game at 5 o'clock. And then Montezuma against Central Decatur tonight at 6:45. So you have two undefeated teams as the 2 and 4 seed on the bottom side of the bracket. Central Decatur 24-0, which is in Class 1A this year after being in 2A last year. And they qualified for state in 2A last year.
Seems
Coach
like
Booth.
every year we see a team that goes from 1A to 2A or 2A to 1A, and we've seen them go 3A to 4A.
3 to 4.
And
5 to 4.
5 to 4, and so it all is dependent upon the population of the school.
Nahazl at the top of that 2-3. Springville now looks like they're going to run. They're going to do some passes. Maybe the 5-pass to Wagaman shot is no good, and then it's a scrum and a jump ball. We'll have Class 5A and 4A semifinals beginning tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. And then 5A, 4A championships, Laura, will be Friday night at 6 o'clock on Iowa Public Television.
First time that they have done that where they've reversed the schedule. Instead of going 1A through 5A with the championships and the tournament play, they just reversed it and they went 5A down through 1A.
Now Hazel is fouled on her way to the hole by Hovey. So 5A, 4A will be Friday night at 6 and 8. And then on Saturday, we have 3 games. 5 is first. Then on Saturday, beginning at 2:30 is a pregame show with 3A followed at 3, 2A at 5, and at 7 o'clock will be Class 1A. So we're putting that one in prime time. Now Hazel hits the free throw. And if 1A and 2A championship games have been some of the best in recent times.
Right, yeah.
I think that 2A game last year, Western Christian and Trainer, that was a great game.
Yes. And you've got a team vying for their 3rd state title in a row if Springville can get all the way to that championship.
McGuire hits the bucket. Loose ball. Garrigan gets the steal. That's Bolter. 3. Good! The Shields 3-point play. Now it's an 18-point lead. Garrigan not going away.
Showing a little 1-2-2, 3/4 court press. Bolter reaching in, trying to get the steal.
Bolter's second foul. She now is in double figures with 10. And the field goal percentage starting to creep up there for Bishop Garrigan.
Now slowly climbing, 26%. They have struggled throughout most of this game, but you've got a lot of time left, 5.5 minutes, but Springville now going to take their time.
Now Hazel on the right side, or just wait for the great open shot.
Well, they backed it out, and they looked like they were going to spread it, and then they ran the offense. And, you know, Nahazel has just been cutting to that mid-high area the entire game. And if you collapse down on her and double-team her, she's going to look and try to dump the ball over the top.
Tipped away by Wagaman, and it's caught by Yeager. So who gets the steal on that play? If the one causes it, but the other one catches it. It's the one who receives it, right?
That would be what I would feel. You're going to have to ask some statistician and find out what the exact rule on that is. But even though the deflection was made by somebody else, whoever picks up that ball is credited for the steal.
And Springville comes away with it. Riley Menster. Menster with 6 points. Wagaman 8, Nahazel 19, Yeager with 10, and a turnover. Number 9 on the game for Springville. Back in is Tilgis.
I think Bishop Garrigan feels like they need to score in a hurry, and they do. They got to make some things happen, and then they've got to get some stops.
Good 3-point shot look there by McGuire. And Springville just dominating on the rebounds here.
But those are the kinds of shots that you need to take when you're down. You got to get them quickly, and if you can start knocking down some threes, string a few together, you're going to get back in, and that's a very tough shot by Wagaman. She just powered that ball up through the defense.
Nice look, Tilgis, free. Oh, that shot at the free throw line doesn't go. Nahazel chases it down.
I think bothered just a little bit with the defense, saw it out of the corner of her eye and just gave it a little extra. Thought she was going to get the friendly bounce off the backboard.
Trying to find Yeager, and it'll go off Kaylin Meyer's hands.
Number 12, Whitney Hovey, and number 10, Madison Meister.
3 1/4 left to play here in the 4th frame. Stolen away. Yes. Hovey, but that was caused by Meister, and then Springville steals it back.
Minster just reading. That's why she's so good defensively, is the anticipation and seeing what's going on in front of her.
From the left elbow, the shot won't go. Garrigan gets it. That's Bolter. Her three is blocked by Wagaman. And here comes some more of that pressure. And now you hear a hold it come from Coach Zaruba. You're right about inheriting a good team. You know, Nate Sanderson takes the job at Springville. You think he'll get have a chance for 3 titles if he stays, but he takes the Linmar job when Jamie Printy Brandt took the job at Iowa City Liberty. Nice cut underneath and then block McGuire. Menster almost thought she was going to lay it in, but McGuire had other thoughts. And the basketball is a little different from 1A to 5A. It's still basketball, but in fact, I saw him earlier today. He was sitting with the team, knew some of those coaches, and he was doing radio. And I don't see him now. Kind of a mixed emotion, isn't it?
I think it would be a huge emotional situation for him, knowing that he'd been with these players for a long, long time. They built this program together, and they have a runner-up finish and 2 state titles to claim and looking for that third, and he moves on, but he's still a big part of that team. His fingerprints are all over this team as far as him helping to build this program up.
Bolter and Hovey go out for Bishop Garrigan, so Jenna Bolter will finish the game under her average. She'll finish with 10. Free throw by McGuire, and then she'll go out as Wadley comes in, and Springville also making some changes. Bringing up the basketball is Courtney Boland. Also out there is Riley Chapman, and it's stolen away by Garrigan's Madison Meister. Still in there is Meyer. She drives and scores.
Nice job of maintaining control and didn't pick up the charge on the way in and got the nice little floater.
Kirschman's handle is stolen. Up ahead, Myers. She'll lay in 2 more. As Myers getting a chance here, the freshman. Myers now with 8. Little mishandle there by Spicer, but she got it back. And Boland has it while Coach Zaruba calls timeout. We have 1 minute and 11 seconds left here on this quarterfinal game from Wells Fargo Arena.
Iowa pig farmers care. Learn more at iowapork.org.
You didn't get a chance to see it on the broadcast, but if you're in the arena, you got to see Coach Zaruba. She was coaching the 5 that are on the floor. She wasn't just letting them coast in on the final 1:11.
No, and that's what you have to do, because you know what? A lot of these players are going to be the starters next year. So you've got to continue to coach in situations and let those players know, here's what you need to do when you're in a game that you're winning by a lot, or if you're losing by a lot, or if it's a close game. You can't let any opportunity pass by to continue to coach.
Well, one of those freshmen is Megan Pearson, number 21. She's been trying to get to the basketball, but it's mostly been Chapman and Boland.
Into the lineup for the Golden Bears, number 24.
A couple more
Mackenzie
coming in
Webster.
for the Bears. Emily Lichter,
Number 22, Gracie Elsbecker, and number 2,
Gracie
Emma
Elsbrecker.
Lichter.
And so one more came in. Emery Miller.
When you look, you've got a couple of players that have gotten some significant playing time for Springville here that will be back next year. Nicole Kane and Melissa Newley, both of them have had a lot of time on the court, but then after that, they're going to have to look for some people to fill the holes and pick up the scoring that's going to graduate.
Kelly Kirschman's shot falls short. 24 seconds left. And the 1-seed Springville Orioles will advance here to play the winner of AGWSR and IGHSAU EHK. That's Ackley, Geneva, Wellsburg, Steamboat Rock. IGHSAU, Elkhorn, Kimballton. Good traditions in both of those communities. Final 3 seconds for Garrigan. Tipped away, and that'll do it.
Final score, Springville 54, Bishop Garrigan
54-36, the final here in Class 1A, Laura. And it was a lot of Springville. It was a whole lot of Michaela Nahazel. 19 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists. A lot came in that second half. They kept her in check early, but she came back there in the second.
Well, they did a better job in the second half of really looking for her up and down the lane, free throw line, and she did a good job when they came in with the double team. She was looking for teammates, so picked up those 4 assists, but you know, early on they set the tone, they got out. It was a struggle for both teams in that first quarter. It was 9-2 at the end of the first, but then Springville erupts for 20 points in that second quarter, and then from that point it was just a pretty easy, clear sailing game for them.
Proud title sponsor of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. Presenting awards from the IGHSAU are Gene Berger and Gary Ross. Congratulations to head coach Brandon Schwab and the Golden Bears from Algona Bishop Garrigan on an outstanding basketball season.
So Coach Schwab will accept the trophy and they'll take it back north to Kossuth County. Head back to Algona.
Your team advances to the Class 1A semifinals. Well, they'll play the winner of IGHSAU Elkhorn.
Well, the Orioles took the first step tonight, Laura, and they did it with Alyssa Yeager's 10 points and Maddie Wagaman's 10 points, but really, Riley Menster, if there was one player that has absolutely elevated her game each year, I got to say it's Menster.
Yeah, she just does all the little things. When they need her to score, she will do that, but she really is good defensively. You have to know where she is at all times if you have the ball in your hands or if you don't, because she's going to lay back and then pick her opportunities to try to jump a passing lane and steal, and then start their offense, because then they get out and running when that happens.
Nahazel finishes with 19 for Bishop Garrigan. Jenna Bolter with 10, 8 for Kaylin Myers, 9 for Grace McGuire, 2 for Madison Meister, Whitney Hovey, 4 for Caitlin Tilgis, 1 for Katie Noonan. Bishop Garrigan will finish the year at 17-8. The Orioles improve to 22-3. They will play Friday morning in the semifinals. I'm sure actually that's in the afternoon. That's 1:30. It's right after morning. And that semifinal you can see with the final Friday night or Saturday night at 7 o'clock. So that'll do it for Algona Bishop Garrigan in Springville. The Orioles win 54-36. The next game here on CISN.TV will be AGWSR and IGHSAU EHK. For Laura Leonard, for Peter Tarpey and the entire crew here at Wells Fargo Arena, thank you so much for making us a part of your afternoon, and so long for just a while.
Thanks for watching our live coverage of the Iowa Girls State Basketball Tournament on the Central Iowa Sports Network. You can check CISN.TV for a replay of this game. The free coverage of today's game was presented by Mid-American Energy, Schottenkirk Chevy of Waukee, Atlantic Coca-Cola Bottlers, and the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union.
And there's a travel. I expect Riley Jacobs